This is Camnet News. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Thank you so much for joining us on our desk. We look at the stories making headlines. UNIP President TILIYENJI KAUNDA says the current political environment in the country does not guarantee a free and fair election. MATERO woman burns husband with boiling water after a marital dispute. Fred Membe describes 2020 a mad year as he predicts a difficult 2021. In international news, overrun, Zimbabwe tightens COVID-19 restrictions. And in sports news, TAPSON, KASEBA and BORNWELL MWAPE'S return ELATES FATHI. Join me shortly for the details.
Hello, have you heard about Msika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact +260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. Msika, allowing your business to grow.
Thanks for joining us. We now look at the news in detail. We begin our news on a sad note where Opposition United Party for National Development UPND Copperbelt Provincial Youth Chairman Ronald Manenga has died in a road traffic accident along Kitwe Ndola dual carriageway. Mr. Manenga was in the company of 3 other UPND members traveling to Ndola for a political meeting at the Ndola District Secretariat. One of the victims, Gerard Ngoma, is the Copperbelt Provincial Youth Chairman in charge of politics, is in a critical condition and currently under intensive care unit. Others are Martha Mutatu and Sparks Kalenga, whose conditions are said to be stable but currently admitted at Ndola Central Hospital. The accident happened Sunday afternoon. On the 7th of December 2020, Mr. Manenga led other UPND youths in putting to task their party president to sign a social contract with Zambian youths on what will be due for the people of Zambia when he attains office. At the event, Mr. Manenga said the social contract was aimed at using it to challenge Mr. Hichilema to deliver to the expectations of the youths who have remained marginalized in most aspects of life. The UPND president, Hakainde Hichilema, says he has received the death of his party officials with a heavy heart, considering that the two were influential members of the party. Let us look back at a video where Mr. Manenga led other youths in challenging Mr. Hichilema to sign a social contract with the Zambian youths.
We came and sat with our president. When he came to the Copper Belt, we asked him, Mr. President, what is it that you are going to do for the youth of this country when you are elected into office next year? Mind you. Because the president challenged me. He says, look, are you telling me, Manenga, that at your level, you have not read our manifesto on youth empowerment? I was challenged. I said, sir, I have read many times. What does it say about youth empowerment, especially related to the Copper Belt? I remember. I said, Mr. President, it is clear in our manifesto that your administration is going to facilitate for us to be given mining rights, to be given mining licenses. Apart from that, the UPND government, starting next year, through his leadership, is going to facilitate for us with local investors, international investors, and regional investors who we can partner with. We agreed that we are going to ask the president of our party because we know that Umwaka Uresa Arete. So we asked our president Are you able to sign a social contract with us, Mr. President, on the things that the manifesto has promised to us? Then he says, what are you talking about? Bring the contract here, I'll sign it now, today and here.
May his soul rest in peace. Moving on in the news, the rights advocacy non-governmental organization, the African Women Foundation, has advised Zambians against posting pictures and videos of dead people on social media. Institutional Director Joseph Moyo, who is a social worker, bemoans that the trend is fast-growing despite it being morally wrong, calling on relevant authorities to quickly deal with such cases. Speaking to journalists in Livingstone, Mr. Moyo observed that pictures and videos of dead people are only supposed to be limited to family members and authorized authorities, who he says may need them for reference purposes. His reaction comes amid pictures and videos of the state prosecutor, Leighton Samansama, and the political cadre, Joseph Kaunda, who were recently shot dead, went viral. The African Foundation president says while many people access the internet through their mobile phones, they have no right to capture materials that should be limited to authorities for investigative purposes.
Death is not something funny. It's not something that should be announced by whosoever. I know everybody today wants to play and pretend to be a journalist, because we have cameras that can capture things at a moment when they are happening. I think there must be a responsible use of social media, responsible usage of phones, the important gadgets that can help us to communicate with other people, to share pictures with beloved ones, to share the birth of a child in a family. But you cannot use those phones to capture images of the dead in a road accident on the road, or in any, whatever the means, whichever way they have died, those people, they don't deserve, their families deserve respect and dignity. So I am calling really upon authorities to immediately criminalize people, because on the other hand, even those who are shot, like what happened, to post on social media also helps to influence. Death is not funny. People get angry. So when you just post on social media, you are influencing society to raise up against a system or whatever. So I think dignity needs to reign in our lives. So that is my sincere hope, that society will grow to become responsible. Let's use social media responsibly. It should not be for posting whatever our cameras capture. There are things that can be kept to ourselves. But death, even in funerals, I mean, there's a very big tendency now that people go to funerals, a place of mourning, and begin to capture when they are body viewing. I mean, that's not right. So that is what I'm calling for. End the scourge of posting photos of the dead on social media, or photographing the dead, people you don't know are not even your relatives.
Now, despite government launching a policy to safeguard the plight of the aged people in 2016, government is yet to fully implement its provisions. Among the provisions in the National Aging Policy include safe homes for them, provision of safe and clean drinking water. According to statistics using the 2010 census, indicates that Zambia's population of senior citizens was estimated at 521,860, and it was also projected that by the year 2020, the number of senior citizens would increase to 670,239. However, close to 5 years now, most senior citizens, such as 68-year-old Lungisani Tembo of LUSAKA'S Kalikiliki compound situated in Monali constituency, are yet to fully benefit from the scheme created for them. Mr. Tembo has been suffering from swollen legs over a period of time and has been having challenges walking even to the nearest hospital, and is now appealing for government to assist him, for he has no means for survival. Details in this.
Zambia's national policy on aging defines an older person as one aged 60 years or older, and the country's current retirement threshold is 65 years. Due to loss of work and income in old age, households with old people are among the poorest in the country. For older persons who also have a right to a decent living, it is about providing income security and the means to access basic necessities. There are a number of challenges facing the elderly in Zambia, which include social exclusion. Older people suffer from isolation due to stigma, and poverty is also highly pronounced among them. Just like many other older people, life has not been easy for Mr. Lungisa Ntembo, who has limited means to survive every day that comes.
Kutika ntandile kondalama nesi kulibe.
Mwena wana wangati?
Nina wana 8.
Okay, once bali mabwela kati.
Amabwela kumaba. Ulangu ali hapa mwamuna. So manje wonse hapa kulibe kama kamuonsi kamukazi. Na mkuru wake wabili. Wasila. Nyame ama ntandile zako. Ulivakuja. Nyame ama ntandile zako. Mwona. Songa tikulibe baby, nisikulibe, nitankaa so tabi. Yoho, na wakazi wanga niye wesi, wakazi wangu hapa so hapa, nabwela majemandi to kulibingisto, nye kwenye duwalita na baby. So, kuta hapuele kunumanja, uwe utaniwa kansa hapa manyangu wako bula, kani nikaoniko mzanga, weni siya. So nye kubwela kuno, kwa kunaye nilitabe so tabi, mchi nisiri.
Mr. Tembo, who is suffering from a swollen leg, shared with this journalist that the nearby Karikiliki clinic has no capacity to attend to his problem. He says he is not on any social protection scheme to help him sustain his livelihood. Hence, he is calling on well-wishers who would help him with medical expenses.
Apa kasako lila ya tangata pompolokako changa tingandime mwamene mwaweti tipa apompolokeko suwa mwandi ndipo anivutisha menda bankala manja pa ya kwana manja bautu wanwe mwima kunipe kukiriniki yakuti ninyamuku nipe kwenye nendo ama vuta so ngati yakuti palika ngono mena kwenye kula kakiki na kilo kama hapa tende mendo vambo ndipo navutika mendo navutika kuipa so omutesomu mutamvanga tingani chikwangu tati mtengo omuso nicho mwanje ndipo navutika manengi.
According to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, social protection is a basic human right. The International Labour Organization, ILO, defines the universal protection as an integrated set of policies designed to ensure income security and support for all, paying particular attention to the poor and vulnerable. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, some beneficiaries of the COVID-19 emergency social cash transfer in LUSAKA'S Chawama compound have urged a government to investigate who is stealing their money. The beneficiaries explain that once they are alerted of the availability of the money through the SMS, they fail to withdraw the said money on their account, that the message has either expired or the money has already been withdrawn and yet no transaction has been effected. Details in this.
An emergency social cash transfer program targeting 656,000 vulnerable households in 16 districts affected by the COVID-19 pandemic was launched in July 2020.
The COVID-19 emergency cash transfer is targeting beneficiaries who are on the regular social cash transfer program and other vulnerable groups most affected by the pandemic.
Affected families who are already on the database of the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services receive 400 kwacha per month for 6 months. However, people are being given 1,600 under the COVID-19 emergency cash transfer, which is an accumulation of 4 months by some beneficiaries who are entitled to monthly grants of 400 kwacha. The government is implementing the program in partnership with 3 United Nations agencies, namely World Food Programme, International Labour Organization, and United Nations Children's Fund. However, this program, which is out of goodwill from the United Nations family, has not been short of challenges, as some beneficiaries have not been able to redeem their money despite receiving notification messages. Each time they want to withdraw the money, they are told that the voucher has expired. They are concerned that others have been able to withdraw the money while they haven't been able to do so.
My beneficiary, my widow, my chimechiti dandaulisa nchakuti ndalama iza UN ma message akabura mafoni sitana kunisenkoti sititenga bena ngo batenga kokwana bena ngo katatu kanika 4 sikulibi but ma message yamangena mafoni chichitika njiani ye dandaulo yatu yanda ku social welfare kumbe chene watu chomveka chene na dandaulo kubula vini popasa mawido kuna zimai bantu sanka musina go batisi why ma message akabura mafoni Africa 24 hours ukaenda kuma bank tukachotsa kamena kokandalama TILIYENJI ndalama zinabwerera manje sana kunisembuli nsenkhote zakuti ndama 78 years sitizana kuti ndama zichoswa bwana zichitwa bwana uchenda mazibwa zienda kuti kuutiko nezienda ndedanda uchili nalo boma mfuna mutithandizeko
mwandi ndalama zebe mwandi anzatu bafola kumaizi tikaribu fola mwezi zinayambira tikaribe kufola hapo nchamile chitidabwisa za kuma UN ndalama zimaenda kuti ma message ya mafika ukaenda kuenda ofunsa kuja kamba kuti zabwerera ndalama
bayuni atwatanya UN ndiye inabwera message ya kuti ndalama inabwera pa first yabwera yaonesa 800 so useni kwa kaena niende ndalama yabwerera voucher chite expire.
Whether or not this is an issue of technological failure or some people stealing money from vulnerable citizens, that will be known when we get an official position from authorities, as by broadcast time, our efforts to get a comment were fruitless. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Well, Camnet TV will continue following up those 2 stories to ensure that we get to the bottom of that. In other news, the opposition Socialist Party, through its 2021 presidential candidate, Fred Membe, has described 2020 as a mad year full of challenges in all spheres of life. Dr. Membe explains that 2020 Zambians were afflicted with issues of gassing, COVID-19, political intolerance, economic collapse, extrajudicial killings, attempts to rape the constitution, among others. He, however, says Zambia should look at 2021 with renewed hope and new opportunities of revolutionary change. The Socialist Party president urges Zambians to make the necessary political changes in 2021 if they are to see a better Zambia, both in the country and in their lives. Dr. Membe says Zambians should reflect and use the many difficulties and challenges of 2020 in deciding the country's future during the 2021 elections. According to him, 2020 was a solemn year when many found it difficult to laugh, play, celebrate, or even smile due to the many afflictions. Dr. Membe has strengthened Zambians that it is only in hard times can wisdom, courage, and perseverance be manifested. This is according to a statement issued by Dr. Membe and posted on his Facebook page. In other news, a 46-year-old man of Lusaka's MATERO North Township has been burned by his wife with hot water. The incident happened on the 1st of January 2021 at around 23 hours when Derek Walia, aged 46, was sleeping. Details are that the victim was at his matrimonial home while his wife, who was away, returned back late, and this infuriated the husband, who later slapped the wife. The wife later picked a pot containing hot water, which was on the brazier, and poured on Derek Walia, who sustained serious burns on the lower abdomen and other parts of the body. The victim was rushed to MATERO Level 1 Hospital, where he is admitted, while the suspect, Susan Malongo, aged 29, was picked today and is in police custody. This is contained in a statement issued to Camnet TV by police spokesperson Esther Katongo. You're watching Camnet News. We take a break. Join me shortly for other interesting stories.
Can I have that meal over there? And I really want that crisp, fresh apple taste from the garden. Can I have happy apple?
I think I'll have my big bite 2 meal with happy waziwaka. Give us your
enjoy an appetizing big bite meal with an happy drink of your choice. A meal is not a meal without an happy drink. And now introducing Happy in a can.
We all miss the days we would play outside, go to school, and visit fun places. But now, we all have to take care to prevent the coronavirus. Viruses are really tiny particles that we can't see with just our eyes, so we need to keep ourselves safe by practicing good hygiene, such as washing our hands with soap and clean water regularly. We can also use hand sanitizer to keep our hands clean. It's also important for us to keep our bodies and surroundings clean. We must also avoid handshakes, hugs, and standing close to other people in public places. This is called social distancing. The coronavirus has affected millions of people around the world, so we need to stay safe. In the meantime, we can keep ourselves busy by reading a book, watching TV, and doing some schoolwork. There's so much we can do indoors. Stay safe, stay home, and prevent COVID-19. We're all in this together.
This advert is sponsored by the Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
We have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Hello, have you heard about Msika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Msika, allowing your business to grow.
Welcome back. You're watching Camnet News. Thank you so much for staying on. The opposition United National Independence Party UNIP has extended an olive branch to any Zambian willing to stand on its party ticket ahead of the 2021 general elections. UNIP President TILIYENJI KAUNDA says the decision has been arrived at in the best interest of choosing the best candidates to steer the country's economy. Mr. KAUNDA further explains that the party will not look at anyone's tribe, color or race in the adoption process, provided they are Zambians and eligible to vie for political position in Zambia. He adds that even people who have been fighting the current party leadership are free to contest various leadership positions at National Congress to be held soon. In the meantime, Mr. Kaunda has observed that the current political environment is not conducive to hold a free and fair election due to the escalating violence and dilution of key governance institutions. Mr. Kaunda was speaking at a press briefing in Lusaka Sunday.
So for us, this is an open game. what we do is act in the national interest. Our interest, particularly, is a question of violence in the nation, in our politics. We're saying that we have tried, as ZCID, together with churches, to try and stop this thing. So far, it seems that we are failing. But we cannot stop trying. We cannot have elections in August in this kind of environment, where we're all carrying weapons and our young men and women are being shot. Where now mothers are fearing to send their kids for campaigns. So, all of us, without pointing fingers, we need to come together as political parties, as civil society, as churches. We must seriously come together and agree that we must have peaceful elections in 2021.
Still in political news, the United Party for National Development UPND members in Mansa district of Luapula province say they will not allow any political party to break the law going into the 2021 general elections. The members highlight that the debate on whether or not President Edgar Lungu is eligible to contest the 2021 elections should not be entertained, as it is outside the Zambian constitution, which prohibits anyone to go for a third term. The members have since advised the PF to begin identifying a new candidate while there is still time before they find themselves without a candidate during election period. The members said that the PF, being the custodians of the law at the moment by virtue of being the party in government, must lead by example. The members were saying this in an interview with Camnet TV News in Mansa district of Luapula province. Former PF Deputy Chairman for Elections Kelvin Waliafobe, popularly known as KBF, who is also a prominent Zambian lawyer, has constantly said that President Edgar Lungu does not qualify to stand as president again on the ballot twice, is not eligible to be on the ballot.
PF, you still have time. Lekeni kuchushaka inde hichirema. President wenu mukwete ino nchitangia tontonka nyapo 2021 take manine. Ifwe Zambia, we are going to defend our constitution to the latter. If unde tukalikonka kaita tuakasumine nguntuna ngumo ukana konkefunde Yesu. So third term, forget. Echo mula chitirefi mula ndwakwe patina muchipata mukwete presidential candidate. Nomba our humble advice kulimwe Davis Muira. Nebumba lienu our humble advice. You still have 6 months to go. Please, for any candidate, muturekeri akainde ichirema. Tekwe batinga mwafilo kukwata candidate, nomba mwalango kuchusho muntu wakayena. No. In Luapula, we are not going to allow that. No third term. Valungu, the law is very clear. You are not going to stand for in 2021. Come rain, come sunshine.
The leadership movement has accused the governing party of sidelining majority youths in the developmental agenda of this country. Party President Richard Silumbe says foreigners seem to be benefiting more than even the owners of the country. Dr. Silumbe regrets that successive governments have left out not only in the governance but also in the development of the country, a situation he claims he would want to reverse when given the mandate to lead the country. Dr. Silumbe said the youths have the energy the country needs to attain national development the people have always wished for. He says his party in government will focus on agricultural development, industrialization, and which will see the youths getting involved in producing agro and industrial products for exportation in order to earn forex.
My message to the youth is that we have reached the year 2021, the year that we have been waiting for the real change that we anticipate as the Zambian young people. We know that we have been left for a long time. We have been left from the participation to pushing the nation forward. So we have been waiting for 2021 in order for us to deliver the real change that we want as Zambian youths. We want to ensure that our energy is put to work. We know that every developed nation has only reached where it is because of the energy of the youth. And we are saying to the Zambian youths that this is our time. And we are saying enough is enough to what has been going on, to the languishing in the streets that has been going on with regard to the Zambian youths. We want to participate in the development of this country. We want to make use of the energy of the youth for us to push the nation forward. And leadership movement is the only answer. We want to ensure that all our youths have something to contribute to the development of this country. We want to bring back production. We know that production is the game changer for every economy.
The Bars and Nightclubs Association of Zambia's Secretary General Edmond Lifwekelo has bemoaned what he terms as double standards by government in the fight against COVID-19. In an interview with Camnet TV, Mr. Lifwekelo explains that bars and nightclubs have been complying on the said health guidelines by the Ministry of Health, adding that they are being blamed for no good reason. He has cited markets as some of the places that government should focus their energies on as opposed to bars and nightclubs. Meanwhile, Mr. Lifwekelo says they will not accept any closures this time around until government has a proper plan for their sector, which has employed many Zambians. He says the association and its operating partners have been sensitizing members of the public and bar patrons on the safety measures of preventing the spread of COVID-19. He says people are operating in this sector are still nursing injuries that came with the first closures. Last week, government announced that Zambia has recorded a second wave of COVID-19, which is more infectious, urging patrons of super spreader events such as weddings, funerals, bars to exercise caution when attending such functions.
Yeah, we are saddened as an association, bars and nightclubs owners, by the new strain of COVID-19. Of course, I think this is sad news for everyone because, as you may be aware, 2020 was a bad year for us. We started on a bad note and we ended up on a bad note. So I think we have engaged government to ensure that we don't experience a second lockdown, because the second lockdown I think will be bad. Not only for us, but it will spark a chain reaction, That's why as an association, we have embarked on a sensitization program together with Zambia Breweries, in which, we are telling our members, we are telling our patrons, don't drop your guard. And I'm happy to say that I think this guard hasn't been dropped. But I think also, I wish to state it here, that I think our sector is being blamed very, very unfairly. It's being blamed unfairly. Because right now I think there's this opinion out there that bars and nightclubs are COVID-19 hotspots, which might not be the case. I think let's look at other areas also which might be dangerous rates, which you might be ignoring. For instance, the markets. Right now I can assure you that there is zero compliance. If you come to a marketplace, you come to a nightclub right now, you might find that even in a nightclub, we are practicing safer places. We are hand sanitizing. Zambia Breweries has donated masks, hand sanitizers, soaps, each and every bar right now. I can assure you, just behind you, there's one of our members. I could have shown you there's a bucket outside there, a blue bucket and some water. You see that, everyone who goes inside there, they're washing their hands. But I think if you go to markets, they've completely dropped their guards. If you go to the small buses right now, they've completely dropped their guards. People are still packed 4x4 in these small buses, without masks, without hand sanitizers. So I think this is quite very, very unfair. Our appeal is that the authorities they look into what is really causing this thing. What is really causing the upsurge right now.
You're watching Camnet News. We take another set of commercials to join me for international and sports news.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, I'm wondering. My skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me. Yes! I already know the secrets. Oracle Pure Glycerin.
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Dr. Bigron, musaibala ko mutienda okuni gift na land. Uchitenkubeti uibise mojo basaione. Mwina moshi, nakuletera njinga. Latest inaluvesigia na mawaipa.
Difficult dia shidia njinga. Liam 19 pendef kondo. Transport, we got it.
Nanga phone for communication. Ipu sana chizungu. Yeah, you see what I mean?
It's a Camnet, difficult.
It's communication. We got it. Indemoni! Powerful system ndimba X-Buzz.
Mufumile kukalale. Na mnaimo muli bakumushi. We got it. Yo Bikron, utola inoleta nchemfule mungani. Ngecho wachira pose nchinshi. 1, 2, 3, both of you. Kabala ngempanga. Don't be stupid. We got it.
Savenda Group of Companies would like to thank the Zambian people for their overwhelming support and trust throughout its 23 years of business, especially during the challenging year of 2020. You have been our true friends and partners on this journey of serving nations and developing Africa, our motherland, which is what Savenda stands for. As the Group CEO, on behalf of the board, management, and staff of Savenda, I would therefore like to take this opportunity to wish His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, the President of the Republic of Zambia, the Zambian people, our esteemed customers and partners, a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
About Msika, do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Msika, allowing your business to grow.
Welcome back. You're watching Camnet News. We now look at international stories. Zimbabwe has extended a nationwide curfew, banned gatherings, and ordered non-essential businesses closed for a month in an effort to curb the surge of the coronavirus infections. Vice President Constantino Chiwenga, who is also the health minister, said on Saturday some of the tighter restrictions were effective immediately and included a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew and a ban on intercity travel. From Tuesday, non-essential businesses would also be suspended. He said the country had recorded 1,342 COVID-19 cases and 29 deaths in 1 week, the highest to date, he said. Chiwenga said air travel was still allowed, with arrivals and returning residents being required to present certificates showing themselves to be COVID-free. In other news, the death toll in the attack on villagers in Niger's restive border regions has risen to more than 70, the country's interior minister said on Sunday. Alkache Alhada said the attack took place on Saturday in the villages of Tumbuktu and Zoromgarea near the border with Mali. At least 20 people were also wounded. The attack is believed to be a retaliation to the earlier killing of 2 fighters by villagers, the minister added. Here is a roundup of international stories.
Market, business has been in decline. Traders here say this is a trend they've noticed for more than a year. Abubakar Mamman, who fixes old broken watches, blames the country's troubles on the increasing attacks carried out by armed groups.
The biggest problem is security. Without it, we are just wasting time. Poverty can only get worse, creating other social and economic problems.
Boko Haram attacks in Niger's southern border region have killed thousands and displaced about 250,000 people since 2015. And in the west, attacks by armed groups affiliated to Al-Qaeda and ISIL have disrupted economic and social life. Adam Jambala, however, is angered by how foreign powers have taken over control of Niger resources. He wants the new government to take charge.
We have uranium, but no nuclear plant. This has been ongoing for more than 60 years. With a nuclear plant, our problem with electricity will be over.
That, he says, will support industries to produce and reduce unemployment. Analysts, however, say for the government to tackle insecurity and poverty, more emphasis must be placed on education.
Even if many promises has been done, but it is still a lot to do in terms of primary education and even high-level education in this country. That is the most important things to know about this.
So far, campaigning has passed on peacefully, but all tribal rivalries have revived.
Civil society organizations say having 30 presidential candidates on the ballot paper could be confusing for many voters. They also say they're worried by the number of racist attacks and hate speech that's characterized the presidential campaigns this year.
The government media regulator is struggling to keep the negative messages off the airwaves.
We have stopped them from overheating the polity. While we address their concerns, we also offer counseling and advice.
With the 2020 elections, Niger is hoping to make history. If conducted successfully, it will be the first time a democratically elected president will be handing over to another. But voters say more important than that, they want to see improvement in their social and living conditions.
That story. Let's go back to those breaking news. We mentioned that the Vice President of Zimbabwe has announced that Zimbabwe has now been placed back under full lockdown amid COVID-19 pandemic concerns. SABC correspondent Effort Musekiwa is in the capital, Harare. He joins us now to tell us more. So, Effort, tell us about this announcement. When exactly was it made?
Well, the announcement was made just about 30 minutes ago. The Vice President, like you did indicate, said that with immediate effect, all gatherings have been restricted to only 30 people and movement is restricted. Only essential services will be allowed to move for the next 30 days.
Effort, do we know what precipitated this?
Well, there's been a surge in the number of confirmed cases, and we've also seen hospitals not being able to cope. We are getting reports that in most hospitals, remember, Zimbabwe has got a poor healthcare system, and because of that, the surge in numbers has actually overwhelmed the hospitals that are actually operating at the moment, and it is one of the biggest causes that has led to this decision.
Effort, I did mention to the viewers that according to the latest figures, Zimbabwe has something in the region of just over 14,000, in fact 14,084 COVID-19 cases. Do we know just how much the exponential growth has been, if over the past 24 hours or maybe the past 7 days, just how much has been the surge I'm trying to gauge?
Okay, just before the Christmas break, the numbers were ranging below 100 per day. Now, for the last 2 days, we've had 300, we've had 274, and really it's been growing, and there's been, a steady growth in the numbers, and they are actually worried. The only figure or the statistics that I have is for the month of December, where they are calculating that 40% of the cases that we have all occurred, of the total number of cases only occurred in the month of December. So really the numbers are indeed going up.
That's it for international news. We now look at sports news. A Zambian golfer based in the United States of America, Vincent Cavasso, has called for more investment in the sport if the sport is to compete favorably internationally. Cavasso says while the country is making strides in bettering the sport, more ought to be done. Cavasso, who has even authored a book on golf, says knowledge sharing is key, especially for those intending to become professional golfers. Cavasso, who is a member of the Professional Golfers of America, PGA, says the book titled Raised by the World talks about the journey to PGA membership and his resilience towards achieving the title. He says the book is an inspiration to many, not only in the field of golf, as it talks about determination, which can be related to any field. We had a chance to talk to him. Let's listen in.
What I want to get out of the book, I think that I want to share my story and to have as many people as possible read it, because my story is a demonstration that anything is possible, and that where you come from doesn't determine how you end up in life. So because of that, I'm very passionate, and it's something that I want to make sure that gets to as many people as possible. I'm a PGA golf professional, so basically I am certified by the PGA of America. There's 29,000 PGA golf professionals in the world, in America I mean, and I'm one of the few minorities out there. So with that, I have the expertise to run facilities, to teach the game. I understand the business of golf, and then I also have a leadership position within the PGA. I'm going through a leadership development program. So with that, I'm kind of getting a lot of insight about what it takes to now run associations. In Zambia, I want to firm up my footing, especially with the foundation. My foundation, Raised by the World, I want it to be very active in the communities, especially. But more than anything, I want our pilot project, which is a program that connects students to some of the kids in the most rural parts of the country. I want that to be a national program. So if we can get some of these college-going students to share their stories with some of the little kids, it will make them understand what it takes to become anything. Because I think we have a deficit at that point. We don't have a lot of kids that understand what it takes. It's very possible if we get intentional projects and programs that allow for that. I mean, like I say, everything is possible. So if we can plan it right, it's absolutely possible. I mean, we've done so many things, and I know the golf union over here are really trying. They are very active in schools, and they're trying to do a lot for youngsters. So I think that yes, it's possible. The book is available online, so it can be purchased from anywhere in the world. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Google Books, and it's available in Barnes and Noble. So, and then they can go to my website as well, which is just my full names, and they can get the book as well.
Still in sports, NAPSA stars have been boosted by the return of strikers TAPSON and BORNWELL as they prepare for their trip to Mozambique to face UD Songo in the second leg of their CAF Confederation Cup first round. Head coach Mohamed FATHI is happy with the return of the duo as it gives his team more options up front. FATHI feels the team is under no pressure going into the deciding second leg. He says as a team they never put pressure on the players, neither do they put themselves, as it results in negative energy. FATHI has also called on the fans to keep supporting the team as they look to qualify for the playoff round. Well, that item ends our news, but before we go, let's just look at the top stories once again. UNIP President TILIYENJI KAUNDA says the current political environment in the country does not guarantee a free and fair election. LUSAKA'S MATERO woman burns husband with boiling water after a marital dispute. Fred Membe describes 2020 as a mad year as he predicts a difficult 2021. And international news, overrun Zimbabwe tightens COVID-19 restrictions. And then sports news, TAPSON, KASEBA and MWAPE'S return ELATES FATHI. That's it on the news desk, but before we leave, let's just look at the Camnet verse for the day, and it's coming from the book of Ephesians 5, verse 15 to 16, and it reads, "So be very careful how you live wisely, not like fools. I mean that you should use every opportunity you have for doing good, because these are evil times." Well, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to ensure that you follow the health guidelines in relation to fighting the COVID-19 as announced by the Ministry of Health. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Thank you so much for staying with us. Good night.